Even if it's related to ISIS, but not just there, we often see this in our country too, beard, robe, turban, as if these are essentials for Islamic scholars. After that, it's considered as if it was a sign of Islam.
Back then, those who attempted to kill our Prophet also wore turbans, grew beards, and wore robes.
So in my opinion, these have nothing to do with religion.
You won't find a single ayat in the Quran that says grow a beard, wear a robe, or anything like that. The Prophet was not a fashion designer. On the contrary, if the Prophet was something different while everyone was wearing turban and robe, it would be considered a rule of that religion. They would ask, why are you changing? The Prophet dressed as his people did, ate as they did, and decorated his home as they did. He changed himself in the matter where God commanded him to change.
He struggled throughout his life, as God said, by being forgiving when necessary and risking his life when necessary.
He got up at night to pray, did zikr a lot, turned to God. He shaped his life as God said. But in matters that God did not specify, whatever his tribe and tradition were doing, whatever they were eating, he did and ate too. For example, there were no potatoes or tomatoes at that time. There were pumpkin, chicken, and lamb meat. He was eating these too. But some people consider eating lamb and pumpkin as sunnah today. For example, there is a famous story about this in culture. A person comes and says he does not like pumpkin. This is famous. It's the story attributed to Abu Yusuf. Abu Yusuf says, bring me a sword and tarpaulin. What's going on, they say? Abu Yusuf says, our Prophet loved to eat pumpkin, this man doesn't. He opposed the Prophet and became an apostate. It is obligatory to kill the murtad. We are going to cut your head off. The man barely repents and saves himself. There's no such definition of sunnah in the Quran, but if we're going to look for a sunnah called the Prophet's sunnah, it is the Prophet's way of implementing the Quran. It's not about whatever he does. For example, the Prophet on Wednesday at 12.
Could you cook me some lamb? Said to one of his wives. To the other wife, he said, let's take a walk.
It wouldn't be a sunnah to desire lamb meat or to take a walk at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. In other words, such practices wouldn't become a sunnah of the Prophet. If you look at the literature, there are more sunnahs than the ruling of the Quran. How are you going to sleep? How to meet the need for the toilet? How is a toilet made? There are some uncles who speak sweetly on TV, so showing how to sleep with one hand here and so on. In some Quran courses, they forcibly wake up those who sleep face down at night. They say this is the devil's sleep.